Hey book friends, it's Caitlin and Tishka here from Spill the Reads. I hope everyone is enjoying autumn, whether you're reading some cozy books or maybe even watching a comfort show. There's been something on my mind lately with all these like sparkling fall romance books fluttering around, and that is like what is up with this trend of all these books trying to emulate Gilmore Girls, and can they really be a true substitute for this show? So I've chosen two books to dive into today, The Pumpkin Spice Cafe and If It Makes You Happy. And my plan in this video is to kind of like look at both of these books, talk about the plot, and say where I think they kind of succeed and fail at trying to be like Gilmore Girls, and of course, kind of like reviewing them as well. So let's get into it. The first thing we're going to do is talk about what people like so much about Gilmore Girls. So I've written a few things down, and I must be sweating because that's why Tishka thinks that I taste delicious right now. So the first thing I've written down is the witty, fast dialogue. So I think we all really enjoy the humor in Gilmore Girls. I can actually just listen to this show without having to look, and I just really enjoy listening to the fast dialogue. Number two is the cozy small town atmosphere. So we all, I think, can agree that Stars Hollow would be an incredible place to live. Everything is in like short walking distance, and you have all of these like cute little stores, and it's very like 90s nostalgia, just lovely to live in. Next up, we have lovable characters and relationships. Yeah, so I think the characters in Gilmore Girls are really complex. Like everyone is like flawed, but you love to kind of like watch how they journey through the seasons and grow and change. You have all these like fun, quirky townspeople. My favorite person, I think, like townsperson is like Kirk. I think he's just so funny. Um, and then you have like mother daughter relationships, friendships, romances that kind of go from season to season, and you're like really invested in them in the long run. And in general, it's just really comforting. Like you have the same setting and it just never gets boring. Like it's always just familiar and it feels very cozy. They kind of do the same things, always going to Luke's diner, all of that. So, anyway, that's what I have kind of gathered for why we keep coming back to Gilmore Girls. So, now let's talk about the first book and kind of compare it against these lovable qualities. Tishka has left the building. Oh, baby. All right, let's talk about the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. If you haven't heard of this book, I feel like you might be living under a rock because it's absolutely everywhere. I have read all the books in this series. They're kind of like my little, guilty pleasure. What do you think, Tishka? Butterfly in the sky. Anyway, so let's just talk about the first one. This is about this girl named Jeannie who comes to this small town in New England called Dream Harbor after she inherits this quaint cafe from her aunt. And she's trying to like figure out how to run a cafe. There's like weird stuff going on in it, and she has to find out like who is messing with her cafe. And she starts like getting cozy with this cute farmer guy named Logan who is delivering her produce and all her tiny pumpkins for the Pumpkin Spice Cafe.
Well, I've loved you since I saw how many tiny pumpkins you could carry at once.
And yeah, so they have a little romance together, all with the backdrop of like fall. Like it's like Halloween, there's like haunted houses and harvest festivals, coffee everywhere, baked goods. Like everyone is friendly and very, it really hones in on kind of like the Gilmore Girls vibes of like the quirky townspeople and the town meetings and all of that stuff. So I do feel like it's close to Gilmore Girls for that kind of vibe, Stars Hollow kind of backdrop. The cheesiness just kind of ruins it a little bit for me. Like it's kind of like a hollow book. Like I'm someone who can't really get into a romance unless I feel like it's really well developed, and I just like, yeah, couldn't get into the romance personally, but I still had fun because I like the setting, and the writing was just so cheesy that it ended up being kind of like fun and cringe to read.
Dear God, did Logan wear reading glasses? She did not stand a freaking chance with this man. She might as well hand over her panties right now.
Which is kind of hard to explain, but that's just like how I took it. The lines I think are just, they still made me laugh. And even if I was laughing because it was bad, like that's still something. Like I'm still enjoying myself. So I do take these books as just like a fun little bi yearly thing, fluff, fun thing to read. Let's look at what I've written down for Gilmore Girls and see if it kind of ticks these boxes. Does it have witty, fast dialogue? I don't think so. Does it have the cozy small town atmosphere like Stars Hollow? Yes. I think this is why it's so popular. Does it have lovable characters and relationships? I think it kind of tries to do this, but for me, it kind of fails a little bit. Like, I want to really care about them, but I don't really care about them that much. And the comforting routine. Let's see, recurring settings. Yeah, I do find Dream Harbor to be quite comforting, but where does it fail? Yeah, like I've been kind of saying, I don't think the writing is very good. It's kind of basic and bland, and it's very repetitive. And I just think that the romance is also just, it happens really, really fast and it feels a little bit fabricated for me. So I have a hard time getting into the romances most of the time, especially in the first one. And the other books, sometimes I think that it's better. I have reviews for all of the books in the series. And then I haven't even mentioned the whole fact that there is like this whole extremely spicy aspect, which is not really in Gilmore Girls and it's not really in Hallmark movies either, but that's kind of like the unique factor about these books. You see these cute covers and you wouldn't know that it's like super spicy inside.
He smelled like the outdoors, like fall leaves and wood smoke.
A few moments later.
Wrap those sweet thighs around me, Jeannie. He had to have her now, now and always.
All right, let me know what you think about the Pumpkin Spice Cafe and the series and whether or not you think it's a substitute for Gilmore Girls. And let's move on. What is the dog doing? Yusha, come here with me. Ready?
Who's back? Back again. Tishka's back. Tell a friend.
All right, let's talk about our next book, If It Makes You Happy by Julie Olivia. I saw a reel of this book on Instagram with like the song If It Makes You Happy, and I just like freaked out and put it on my TBR. And this book has kind of been like exploding everywhere. I see it like every day on social media. Let's be honest, I had to DNF this book, despite the fact that I think it's the most similar to Gilmore Girls. So let's talk about it. This is about a girl, it's set in 1997. Her mom just dies and she has to take care of this like cute little inn in a small town in New England. And when she gets there, like she doesn't really know how to run an inn, but she's going to try her best. And she comes with her dog named Rocket, and he's really cute. And she meets her next door neighbor, who is this single dad, and he runs the bakery in the town. And we kind of start this like very, very, very slow burn, very chaste romance between the two of them. It moves at snail speed and it's very respectful. Yeah, you're kind of getting what I didn't really like about it. Some people will like it. I know a lot of people do. They try to make him, the romantic interest, be like this like really emotional guy, and he is just like so respectful and he sounds like a good partner, like he really loves his daughters, but I care about the romance. I think it does a really good job at making like the real Stars Hollow kind of atmosphere with all the quirky townspeople, and the writing is a lot better, and it just kind of takes itself more seriously. Like it's not just about the romance like in the Dream Harbor books. Like they really do try to set up a whole story talking about their jobs and like the other characters, like the romantic interest guy, his name is Clifford. He has like two daughters, so there's like a lot of drama about the daughters who are like maybe a little rebellious or getting into trouble and stuff. So yeah, I think this really feels like a higher quality book than the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. And I'm saying all of that, and yet still I was like not interested enough to keep listening. Like we finally got to like the first kiss, and I was just like kind of like, ugh, grossed out. It said something like, he shoved his tongue in my throat and my heart started fluttering like leaves or something really weird like this. And I was just like grossed out. Anyway, so unfortunately, I had to DNF that book, but I'm sure a lot of people will like it. Let's compare it to all of the things people like about Gilmore Girls. So, does it have fast, witty dialogue? I don't think it's as good as in Gilmore Girls, but I think the writing is much better, like than the Pumpkin Spice Cafe. So maybe some people would think that the dialogue was good. I think it does have the cozy small town atmosphere, and it also has a lot of details in common with Gilmore Girls. Like she's running an inn, just like Lorelai's inn, and while Clifford is a baker and he has a bakery. I mean, it's not the same as Luke's diner, but like it does kind of feel a little bit similar. We've got like teenage daughters, and instead of like the Lorelai character, it's the guy who has two daughters. So there are a lot of things kind of like in common, these details. Also like the time, it's in 1997, and I don't know when exactly Gilmore Girls started, but I think it predates the 2000s. Yeah, lovable characters and relationships. I think that they are more developed, so maybe people would see them as lovable. They definitely have a lot of like positive qualities and comforting routine. Yeah, recurring settings. Yeah, we get the bakery, we get the inn. We're always in this small town. So, yeah, I do think that between the two books, Pumpkin Spice Cafe and If It Makes You Happy, the latter is the winner between the two of them, but I still don't really think it is like a proper substitute. I would much rather just watch or listen to Gilmore Girls. And yeah, I don't know, you guys. Right now, I'm just feeling a little bit fickle with books. Like I said in my last video, I did like a cozy fall vlog. I've been having a hard time, like, really committing to a book. I just feel like there's just like so much choice right now, and everyone's coming out with their like fall TBR books. And I haven't found anything that I really feel passionate about that's like seasonal. So let me know in the comments. I want to hear all of your thoughts about this. Do you agree or not? Or maybe you found a book that you do think is a good substitute for Gilmore Girls. All right, we're going to hit the park, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.